Hello, in this video I will talk about global warming. What is exactly global warming? Global warming is a long-term heating of Earth's surface observed since the pre-industrial period, that is to say between 1850 and 1900, due to human activities, primarily fossil fuel burnings, which increases heat trapping greenhouse gas levels in Earth's atmosphere. So, actually, global warming is the changes in surface air temperature over the past 50 years. The Arctic has warmed the most, and the temperatures on land have generally increased more than sea surface temperatures. Earth's average surface air temperature has increased almost at 1.5 degrees Celsius since the Industrial Revolution. Natural forces cause some variability, but the 20-year average shows the progressive influence of human activity. In common usage, climate change describes global warming, that is to say, the ongoing increase in global average temperature and its effect on Earth's climate system. Climate change in a broader sense also includes previous long-term changes to Earth's climate. The current rise in global average temperature is primarily caused by humans burning fossil fuels since the Industrial Revolution, that is to say, since 1850. Fossil fuel use, deforestation, and some agricultural and industrial practices add to greenhouse gases. These gases absorb some of the heat that the Earth radiates after it warms from sunlight, warming the lower atmosphere. Carbon dioxide, the primary greenhouse gas driving global warming, has grown by about 50% and is at levels unseen for millions of years. Climate change has an increasingly large impact on the environment. Deserts are expanding, while heat waves and wildfires are becoming more common. Amplified warming in the Arctic has contributed to thawing permafrost, retreat of glaciers, and sea ice decline. Higher temperatures are also causing more intense storms, droughts, and other weather extremes. Rapid environmental change in mountains, coral reefs, and the Arctic is forcing many species to relocate or become extinct. Even if efforts to minimize future warming are successful, some effects will continue for centuries. These include ocean heating, ocean acidification, and sea level rise. Climate change threatens people with increased flooding extreme heat, increased food and water scarcity, more diseases, and economic loss. Human migration and conflict can also be a result. The World Health Organization, that is to say WHO, calls climate change one of the biggest threats to global health in the 21st century. Societies and ecosystems will experience more severe risks without actions to limit warming. Adapting to climate change through efforts like flood control measures or drought-resistant crops partially reduces climate change risks, although some limits to adaptation have already been reached. Poor communities are responsible for a small share of global emissions, yet have the least ability to adapt and most vulnerable to climate change. Examples of some effects of climate change are, the first one example is wildfire, intensified by heat and drought. And also the second example is bleaching of corals, occurring more often due to marine heat waves, and worsening droughts compromising water supplies. Many climate change impacts have been felt in recent years, with 2023 the warmest on record at 1.48 degrees Celsius since regular tracking began in 1850. Additional warmings will increase these impacts and can trigger tipping points such as melting all the Greenland ice sheet. Under the 2015 Paris Agreement, nations collectively agreed to keep warming well under 2 degrees Celsius. However, with pledges made under the agreement, global warming would still reach about 2.7 degrees Celsius by the end of the century. Limiting warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius would require halving emissions by 2030 and achieving net zero emissions by 2050. Fossil fuel use can be phased out by conserving energy and switching to energy sources that don't produce significant carbon pollution. These energy sources include wind, solar, hydro, and nuclear power. Cleanly generated electricity can replace fossil fuel for powering transportation, for heating buildings, and for running industrial processes. Carbon can also be removed from the atmosphere, for instance, by increasing forest cover and farming with methods that capture carbon in soil. In the next step, I will talk about the solutions to this big problem of global warming. And the first solution is to save energy at home. Much of our electricity and heat are powered by coal, oil, and gas. Use less energy by reducing your heating and cooling use. So use less energy by reducing your heating and cooling use, switching to LED light bulbs and energy efficient electric appliances, washing your laundry with cold water, or hanging films to dry instead of using a dryer, improving your home's energy efficiency through better insulation, for instance, or replacing your oil or gas furnace with an electric heat pump can reduce your carbon footprint by up to 900 kilograms of CO2, that is to say carbon dioxide. So actually it can reduce the footprint, your carbon footprint by 900 kilograms of CO2 per year. Get more energy. And the second solution is to change your home's source of energy. Ask your utility company if your home energy comes from oil, coal or gas. If possible, see if you can switch to renewable sources such as wind or solar, or install solar panels on your roof to generate energy for your home. Switching your home from oil, gas or coal powered energy to renewable sources of energy such as wind or solar can reduce your carbon footprint by up to 1.5 tons of CO2 per year. Okay. So actually, renewable energy is key to tackling the climate crisis. The third solution to global warming is walk, bike, or take public transport. The roads or roadways are clogged with vehicles, most of them burning diesel or gasoline. Walking or riding a bike instead of driving will reduce greenhouse gas emissions and help your health and fitness. For longer distances, consider taking a train or bus and not your car. And carpool whenever possible. Living car-free can reduce your carbon footprint by up to 2 tons of CO2 per year compared to a lifestyle using a car. The next solution is to switch to an electric vehicle. So if you have a car, at least you can, it is better not to have a car, but if you have a car, switch the car to electric vehicle. If you plan to buy a car, consider going electric with more and cheaper models coming on the market. In many countries, electric cars help reduce air pollution and cause significantly fewer significantly fewer greenhouse gas emissions than gas or diesel powered vehicles. But many electric cars still run on electricity produced from fossil fuels, and batteries and engines require rare minerals which often come with high environmental and social costs. Switching from a gasoline or diesel-powered car to an electric vehicle can reduce your carbon footprint by up to 2 tons of CO2 per year. A hybrid vehicle can save up to 700 kilograms of CO2 per year. The next solution is consider your travel. Airplanes burn large amounts of fossil fuels, producing significant greenhouse gas emissions that makes taking fewer flights one of the fastest ways to reduce your environmental impact. When you can virtually take a train or skip that long distance trip altogether. Okay, so the solution is to take less flights. Okay, taking one less long haul return flight can reduce your carbon footprint by up to almost 2 tons of CO2. The next solution is reduce, reuse, repair and recycle. Electronics, clothes, plastics and other items we buy cause carbon emissions at each point in production. From the extraction of raw materials to manufacturing and transporting goods to market. To protect the climate, buy fewer things, shop second-hand and repair what you can. Plastic alone generated 1.8 billion metric tons of greenhouse gas emissions in 2019, 3.4% of the global total. Less than 10% is recycled, and once plastic is discarded, it can linger for hundreds of years. Buying fewer new clothes and other consumer goods can also reduce your carbon footprint. Every kilogram of textile produced generates about 17 kilograms of CO2. The next solution to global warming is eat more vegetables. Eating more vegetables, fruits, whole grains, legumes, nuts and seeds, and less meat and dairy can significantly lower your environmental impact. Producing plant-based foods generally results in fewer greenhouse gas emissions and requires less energy, land and water. Shifting from a mixed to a vegetarian diet can reduce your carbon footprint by up to 500 kilograms of CO2 per year, of course, or up to 900 kilograms for a vegan diet. Okay. So there is a strong connection between food and climate change. The next solution to the global warming or climate change is throw away less food. When you throw food away, you are also wasting the resources and energy that were used to grow, produce, package and transport it. And when food roots in a landfill, it produces methane, a powerful greenhouse gas. So purchase only what you need. Use what you buy and compost any leftovers. Cutting your food waste can reduce your carbon footprint by up to 300 kilograms of CO2 per year. Uh, the next solution to climate change or global warming is plant native species. If you have a garden or even just a plant or two outside your home, check for native species. Use a plant identification app to help you in this subject, and then think about replacing non-natives, especially any considered invasive. So plants, animals and insects depend on each other. Most insects will not eat non-native plants, which means birds and other species lose a food source. Biodiversity suffers. Even a single tree or shrub can offer a refuge. Just remember to skip insecticides and other chemicals. Okay, so again, you have to plant native species. This is the solution. In conclusion, the next solution is to clean up your environment. Humans, animals and plants all suffer from land and water contaminated by improperly discarded garbage. Use what you need, and when you have to throw something out, dispose of it properly. Educate others to do the same and practice and participate in local clean-ups of parks, rivers, beaches and beyond. Every year people throw out 2 billion tons of trash. About a third causes environment harms, from choking water supplies to poisoning soil. Okay, so you should clean up your environment. Okay, that is the conclusion for that solution. And the next solution to global warming or climate change is make your money count. Everything we spend money on affects the planet. You have the power to choose which goods and services you support. To reduce your environmental impact, choose products from companies who use resources responsibly and are committed to cutting their gas emissions and waste. If you have money that is being invested for you through a pension fund, for instance, it may be supporting fossil fuels or deforestation. Making sure your savings are invested in environmentally sustainable business can greatly reduce your carbon footprint. And the next solution is speak up. Speak up and get others to join in taking action. It's one of the quickest and most effective ways to make a difference. Talk to your neighbors, colleagues, friends and family. Let business owners know you support bold changes from plastic-free products and packaging to zero emissions vehicles. Okay, so actually, I repeat again. So, support bold changes from plastics-free products and packaging to zero emissions vehicles. Appeal to local and world leaders to act now. Climate action is a task for all of us, and it concerns all of us. No one can do it all alone, but we can do it together. Okay, thank you very much.